Okay, good morning. Today we will have a next topic. That is environmental and safety management. We also call the security management. Security. So this is also very important topic in our study because this service is take a lot of labor cost, labor intensive work. So we have to spend more time in learning what is the environmental management or security management. Why we need to manage the environment? Because of the only reason is energy and resources. Because our energy is limited and the resources also limited, and also the population growing very fast, and the global warming and climate change. So for example, for the water resources, water, we think Taiwan is an ocean country. We think a lot of raining fall into this island, but we are a country lack of water resources. You cannot understand. But actually, Taiwan is a water limited area because we have a lot of industrial area. We have a lot of very high density of factory inside of Taiwan and very high population densities. So especially the mountain is very high, so the rainfall fall into Taiwan and very rapidly go into the ocean. So we are lack of the water resources. So this is why we have to manage our environment, because we are lack of energy and water resources. That is the main reason. So you see that it is not clear, but you can see this is from the photo of NASA. NASA, American. There's a NASA, National Air Force and Space Administration. That is they take a photo, not very clear, but you can see in your PPT, and that to see somewhere that is the light places. The light places means that these places use a lot of energy. So Taiwan, the coast of China, Japan, and Western Europe, that is the most light area. that means a very bright area. Means this is taken in the night. So the bright area means that it take a lot of energy for the light, for the light. So this is a very special. You can very clearly see in the PowerPoint, in my PowerPoint put in on the Moodle classes. So this is another. That means for doing the environmental protection, you can also save your money. Because you recycle your material and your resources. So you can see this is a mass balance figures. So this is M coming in raw material, and here and RP, and it's RC here, and we produce two. One is P and one is RP. So that means your raw material is the P plus RP minus RPR and RCR. R is the upper, means recycle, reuse. This is reuse. So if you do not reuse, then you have to put a lot of amount of raw material. But if you put recycle, then you can save this amount. So it means if you reuse more, then you can reduce your raw materials more and more. So this is why we should use doing the waste recycle, because it can save a lot of money. So the second, the next is the environmental resource management. So our activities are based on the resources. If we do not have the resources, we cannot do anything in the world. So especially for the ecosystem. Ecosystem has the regeneration. Regeneration means you should have some material input and some of the material produced and output. So that take a balance. If you do not continue the cycle, then this ecosystem will be damaged. So this is how to manage the environmental resource systems. So we can see that what is the resources? The resources is limited. So mineral resources such as the metal and a huge amount of resources, sand, stone, and limestone. And energy resources is fuel, fossil fuel, and fluid resources such as the energy, solar energy, water energy, and environmental resources, soil, water, and air. Air is also a resources. No money, but it is resources. Have you ever seen the Sky of Seattle? A book that was written by the Indian chief, right? Seattle, the Sky of Seattle. They say the water, the air is clean, but no money. But it is very important. Yeah. So, and then is the biological resources. This is wood, fish, and biodiversity. And then we have to understand that the consumption of the energy or consumption of the resources. Two, energy and resources. Where is the energy come from? Come from the fossil fuel, right? Come from the solar energy, or water, dam, right? Reservoir. So, but now we all use the fossil energy, fossil fuel. We seldom use the solar energy or wind energy. It's a very little amount. So most of our energy comes from the fossil fuel. The fossil fuel is this is the storage, and this is because it costs a lot of money, costs a lot of budget to to open of these resources. That means it costs is not economic, so we do not use that. But now there's a news comes from United States. That means United States now is going to use a new source that is plate oil, 油页岩. You understand? So that means that now most of the energy comes from Arabia country, but next century maybe United States can be the most, the biggest energy provider country in the world. So, but which country is the most consumption, the biggest consumer of energy in the world? Which country? America. They use a lot of America. So, this is wasting our energy. That is balance. How to produce for utilizing the energy. We cannot unlimitedly exhaust our energy. So, because in the very beginning, maybe because of the energy supply is very cheap, so you consumes a lot. But later you find it is maybe the price growing higher and higher. Then you will not use this again, or you will not use so much. So then they will reduce your consumption. So that in the usage, they will become a normal distribution in the mathematical expression. So in the beginning, the consumption is very high. Then you find that the price is too high. Then you will, decrease your consumption. So it became a normal distribution. Like in your school, the very excellent students' behavior, very few. But normally, most of the students is in the normal behavior. But the bad or the worst is very few. So this is called the normal distribution. Then we have to know to what extent that will be the population of the world. The final. Now how many population in the world now? Now it's about 60 billion, right? 60 billion. But maybe next century, maybe 100 billion is okay. It's possible. 100 billion. Or how much? So this is from economic point of view that we have a prediction model. We can predict the population growth, predict, but which is the limited parameter. So the population will not unlimited growing, right? Because it is limited by the resources. So in the earth, the resources is limited. So the population cannot growing more and more because you're limited. You only have a limited resources, only very limited resources. So it will, for example, in a family, father and mother, so they earn the money. So how can they support growing how many kids in a family? If the father and mother do not have enough money, maybe one kid is too much, too many, right? But if the father and mother has a lot of money, then they can have 10 kids. Okay, there's no problem. 20 kids is okay. But it depends on your resources. If your resources is rare, then you cannot have more population in this world, right? So we can understand that is because of the resources is limited. So our population cannot growing bigger and bigger. So a very interesting example is, how about the China and India? And maybe in the next decade, India will be the most, the population will be the first of the world, right? India. Why? Because there are no one kid policy. In China, only one kid, right? If you have second kid, then do not have any advantage from the government. But India do not have. Many India family, they have 10 kids in a world. But the death rate is also very high. And 10 kids, maybe only 5 can survive. So, but actually it is more than China. Only China is now only, officially is 1, but maybe not unofficial maybe had 2 or 3. But usually every family has only 1 kid. So their population is controlled, very, very well controlled. But for India, no control. So no doubt that next decade there will be the most populated area in the world in India. Have you ever go to India? To India, I've been there once. Terrible place. Everyone. Okay, so next one. So the population, every people can use the resources for everyone. It will limit your population amount and your living style. Okay, living style when if it is a place, if you are richer, if a place with richer people, they need more resources to support their high standard of living. If the richer people, but for the poor people, they do not need anything. So this is different. Okay. So there is an exponential growth. Okay. In the prediction in economic, there is a population growth. Do you think it is possible that is unlimited to a high, very, very high population? Is it possible? No, never, because this is your limitation. This is your resources. Then your population cannot over this line because this is your resources. Your resources. If your resources here, your population cannot grow higher. You only have these resources. These resources can support your population survive. So cannot beyond of this place. So the problem is how to predict the resources amount, because the development, the high speed development of the technology. So we just like the water consumption for a plant, they consume a huge amount of water. So that is the reason why Taiwan became a lack of water country, because the industry use a lot of water resources. in the processing procedure. Because of the technology development, so the human use a lot of energy resources, and then the difficulty is our resources. Before we use a lot of iron, right? Iron, but now you see all the building materials are replaced by plastic. The strength of the plastic are maybe stronger than iron. So they use this as a building material. So it can be replaced. So it is very difficult for our forecasting of the consumption amount, because your material used can be replaced by a new material, just like plastic. And then we also have, because before we do not thinking it is a resources, but now we have a new name. It is called urban mining. Have you ever heard that? Urban mine. What is urban mine? Your mine is always from the mountain, right? Your mine is always from the mountain. You dig it and you find the copper, find the iron, find the gold, find the silver. But now you are not digging this mine from the mountain. You dig it from your garbage, from your waste. So the waste, solid waste, became the urban mine. Urban mine. So we don't need to go to the mountain, dig the mountain, because we can find, or we can collect the material from your waste, from your garbage. Okay. Something that is more important is for the political reason. Do you know OPEC? You know, OPEC is all your petroleum output country, just like Middle East country. Sometimes they are angry if they are not feel comfortable. Then they will limited their output, right? This is OPEC, just Saudi Arabia, or Egypt, or Kuwait, or something. Okay. There are many reasons that will limited your resources. So now we have a new term, is a sustainable utilization. Sustainable means you can use long and long and long. Sustainable. If you one time you just if you want maybe something like the whale, the Japanese they catch the whale, right? But if 1 year they catch all the amount, then next year you don't have any whale again. But if you only catch a little amount, then you will have the whale year and year. Every year you will have. That means if you are sustainable utilization, then you can continue to use these places. But if you use a lot of money, then you are not able to use of this. So this is, we call it sustainable. So sustainable usage. It is not sustainable. So one time you use a lot of, then they will be so maybe they will disappear. So we cannot use it, and keep it at least a month in the upper places. We cannot use all of this well. Then there is a environmental pressure. You know what is the carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide comes from the combustion of your fuel, fossil fuel. Oxygen together with carbon and form the carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide will have a very bad effect. What is the effect? Carbon dioxide. Greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect. Just the carbon dioxide, just like the gas, cover the whole earth. So it's just like a greenhouse. Greenhouse. So greenhouse effect. So if you have more carbon dioxide, then you have more environmental pressure. So this is environmental pressure. If you have too many amount of carbon dioxide, then it is not sustainable. So we have to reduce the emission of carbon dioxide. So how to, if you reduce into this way. This is the upper limit. If you emitted more carbon dioxide, where is the source of carbon dioxide? Your motorcycle, your car, right? Now, do you know the recent news from Volkswagen? Volkswagen, they use the cheating software, you know. So, but actually, they produce more carbon dioxide when they are running in the road, in the street. So that is not sustainable. So, and then another very important factor that affects the development of energy technology is how to save energy. This is very important in education. Save energy means you can change your mind, change your attitude, and to provide you more knowledge. So then you can change your behavior. Change your behavior. It's very important in the school, elementary school, middle school, and university. So this is very important in our education. Then it is for everybody of you to how to develop the saving energy equipment, energy, and then maybe this is need more. You can find the solar energy, any other. But these two, we can do this too in our university, in our institute. You can do this two kind. Now is a supply chain of energy technology. Supply chain is input and producing and transportation and application. These are the supply chain. And you are user, right? We all are end user. And this is transportation and logistic. And this is the producing. Who producing? There's a power plant, right? Producing. And who invested? We can do this investment and input. So we have a new technology for energy and for cleaning. And then do you know what is the renewable energy? Do you know? Or renewable energy? In Chinese, what is renewable energy? 再生能源. Renewable energy, what is? Means this energy can be used endless, right? So what is the renewable energy? Solar energy, right? Wind energy, right? Solar, wind, ocean energy, right? Ocean, there's a current, ocean current, 洋流发电, okay? These are all recoverable. Recoverable means renewable energy. And you also know it's a biofuel, right? Biofuel, 生殖能. And what is this? You know, what is this? What is this? 这是什么? Solar energy, solar energy. So you can use this. You can use this. Yeah, it's very. You see that there are the 4 solar energy, right? In the front of our school, 繁荣新店景文科大. You see that? It's designed by me. I designed it. So this is only use this, but only 2 hours. So we have also input another energy resource because this is only 2 hours, not every day. It's not enough. So we also put the wind energy. So there is a wind, right? Vent, but also not enough. So we have to, have another line to supply the energy. Okay, so you see this here. This is an example from China Steel. So this is inside of this. This is what we call this a material balance. So how many of the raw materials coming in is a raw material, and then they have the energy coming. This is the raw material coming in. So you have the your mine and stone and your copper and your plastic. Oh no, it's okay. And there's the oil and the gases and the electricity and water. And then this is the waste. Waste. So you see the solid waste, and this is waste water. So and then this is your another product. This is your product. So they have this product. So you see, you input your material and you put your energy, and you have your product, and then you have your waste. So this is a very clear picture for you to understanding how to manage the environment. So first you have to, okay, so in your organization, can you write down your picture? We'll have an exercise for school. Can you write down this? What is your input? What is your input? What is your output? And what is your product? And for an example, in hospital, last week we have an exercise about hospital and school. So now we can also use this, and then we'll have an exercise. Then you're drawing a picture like this. Then we can replace this, your material to another. Is it possible for, if you want to change your material into another material, you have, what you have thinking is to, is it technical feasible? Is it possible in your technical, or is it feasible in your economic consideration? And the acceptance in the society, such as your moral and this aesthetic, and the other is the consumer. Is it possible to be acceptable by the consumer? Just like Yolin, we designed the new equipment, but it's ugly, right? It's ugly for the ventilation. So I think your consumer will not use that. So because it's not so ugly. So the shape should be very beautiful. So the type. And then, so we are thinking about is that the possible supplier, possible supplier for the substitution of the material, or the other substitution, will it bring another problem? Or say, okay, do you think the electric car is a good car? Electric mobile, 电动车, is a good car? Is that cause any other problem? Yeah, how about the battery? Right? It's a good car and will not produce any air pollution. But how can you treat the battery? Waste the battery. It's a bigger problem. Maybe you have solved the air pollution problem, but you caused the other problem, that is the waste problem, waste the treatment problem. So will it open another question? Then the timing, is it possible timing? That we all say that if you do not use a nuclear power plant, then you could use the solar energy, the wind energy. But the timing, is it possible? If you want to build a solar energy plant, how much time do you have? 20 years or 30 years? So the timing, is it possible? Now, okay, you know this, what's this? Can you explain? It's your major. Yolin, explain what is the eco print. So eco footprint. Can you explain for everyone? In Chinese, it's okay. Yeah, what is eco print? Eco print. So we use this to know is it environmental protection enough or not. So you see this biodiversified, built land, energy land, bioproductivity C, bioproductivity land. Okay. How so? There is a definition of ecoprint, ecological footprint. Ecological in the early beginning by some of the scholars, and they change the human life, the energy consumption and resource consumption, and with the waste treatment, and change into the area. So this area is called eco print or ecological footprint. Change into the area. I'll give you an example. So in before we say in 1 unit of land can support how many people, right? But now it's different. There's one people who use how much area of the land. This is ecoprint. The traditional definition is different. Ecoprint, ecoprint is one person who will use how much area of the land, So this is not a traditional. So if you one person that they are different. If it's ocean, and this is for the forest and the grassland and the farm area and the building area, and this is the petrochemical plant area. There are different eco footprint. So the World Protection Foundation, they have already calculated the ecological footprint. That is, everyone will use 2.2 hectare area. Okay, everyone use this amount of ecological print, but actually the food, actually the Earth can only provide 1.8, so we exceeded 0.4. It's exceeded. So we need to reduce our ecological footprint. And then, so two scholars in Taiwan, so they calculate, okay, 5.02, okay. So we have say 3.2. So the value of ecological footprint higher, it represents that we are destroying the ecological system. So, okay, it is also a very good topic of your master thesis. You can calculate this, okay? So, and the other is a carbon footprint. Have you ever seen this? When you buy the drinking water, they'll calculate the footprint, right? Right. Every your food or every product in the convenience store, they have the footprint. Footprint means the activities. To produce this one, then they will use how much amount of the carbon. How much amount of the carbon. So there's a carbon footprint and the ecological footprint. There's two definitions. It's very important in our environmental management. Okay, so you see that in Taiwan EPA, they give you so if you buy a bottle mineral water, then it will have produced in the factory, then a transportation to the convenience store, and you buy it at your home, right? So finally, how many carbon dioxide emitted to the earth? That they will calculate this. So this is your carbon footprint. So now we have carbon labeling in all of your print. So you go to the convenience store, you will see the carbon footprint printed in your product. Then we go to another topic, that is safety management or security management. What is security management? To prevent the disaster, prevent the risk, and to that the public place become more safer. And so that we have to know what is your awareness about safety, and we have to know the culture of your awareness, a culture of your safety. Okay, so this is important in our safety management. So for doing the safety management, what do you think is the most important? Awareness. So the people who is always thinking about the safety, then I'm sure that he will not be damaged or take any of by disaster, by the unsafer condition, because he always have the awareness of the safety. But if you do not have the awareness of the safety, then it is very dangerous for you. Even go to across the road, it's also very dangerous. So the awareness of safety is very important. But how to build to construct the awareness of the safety, that is important, is in your culture. In this place, we have the culture. So every month, the teacher will tell you, you do not do that and do not do that. So you know what is safe, what is not safe. So this is the culture of the safe. Okay. So if you do not have the awareness, then you say that a disaster can come in, and then you will be damaged, right? But if you have the awareness, then you can, you know what is safer, and how to protect yourself, then it will, you can prevent before, right? You can prevent before. If you do not have, then you will not prevent doing any activity about the prevention of the disaster. So the prevention or your awareness or your behavior is very important for building a very safe community. I say something, I would like to say that my friend told me that God bless you, but you have to close your door by yourself every night. You understand? So God bless you. So that means that you have to do everything by yourself. That is when a disaster, when a natural disaster or man-made disaster, sometimes we have, if it is surprising, no any damage, right? Only a surprise you, but no doubt, no any harm. But maybe sometimes you lost your money. Okay, like this time I go to Milan, and some of the professionals were robbed by the thief, by the gipsies, by the thief, because but they do not hurt, but they lost the money, and sometimes even danger they were hurt, right? But the most important is maybe dead or damaged or harm. So there are different extent for your incident. We call this incident or accident. So you see that here. I think this is very important. It's also a very good topic for your master thesis. Is how to how to build a very safe environment. First is you have to promise how to do. You have to promise, I want my student learning in a very safer environment. Okay, it's our promise, right? Then we have the safety teaching. We have to ask them or teach them how to do a safety behavior. Then we have to build our safety management system. This can be a computer system or your administration system. And then is your safety culture. What is the safety culture? And you are excellent in your safety management. Okay, and then we have to know what is your harm. There's a physical, chemical, biological, and a human risk, and your psychology and behavior, a different kind of your risk. And then because we are considering the risk, most of the risk comes from the industrial activity. So there is a labor industry. So what is the most duty comes from the unsafer behavior. Okay. And then is the attitude and your skill and your knowledge, lack of your skill, and then your condition is not good. So usually the accident is coming from the bad your body condition, because you cannot concentrate your mind. So maybe some of the risk occurred. So this is you see, if it is safer in your environment, safer in your psychology, safer in your behavior, then there will have no incident, and you don't have to worry about any of the disaster coming from the natural environment or man-made environment. So that is environmental security, including the social security. So the environment, the space, organization, social, and system all included. That also included mechanical, your machine equipment, and your tool, and your raw material, energy, transportation, and your household affair, and ventilation, lighting, process standards and regulation, and your management system and social process. So then we have to know what is the behavior safer. Behavior, you know, somebody, they are many sounds like they are, you know, if you are together with them, then you feel very uncomfortable because, you know, they seem like to attack you, right? So your behavior, your behavior outside, in your outside behavior, you should including communication, observation, encouraging learning, and teaching. So these are the yours body and your behaviors safer behavior. So it is also, you know, the environment is safer, but some people have some behavior not safer. So it is also included in your somebody. You say in your community there's a drunken people every day, every night, or maybe some places with homeless people. Although they will not hurt you, but you know, somebody will not feel very comfortable. But if you go into your home, but every time there's a homeless people in front of your door, how can you feel? What do you feel? So that is a feeling. So that is included in our community safety. Psychology, this is more. This is your valuation system, your religious, your thinking, your feeling, and your motion, and your thinking attitude, your concentrate abilities, and technology, and wisdom, and knowledge. So how to produce a very safer culture? 3. The first is your behavior. Obey the regulation and your coach, and your cognition, communication, and concern. And then you are thinking about the environment, about the machine, equipment, tool, and cleaning. And then it's human inside. Inside human, that is including your knowledge, technique, and ability, and the emotion, and your belief, and your attitude. So the safer, most of your damage or risk coming from the human error. So human error. So your behavior is not very. It's a very clear example is your driving, right? Danger driving, right? It's right. Some people driving like to, you know, change the roadway, right? So it's danger driving. So now in our behavior, if the behavior is not you know, following a very safer way, then we call it a human. It will cause the human risk. Do not take attention. Okay. So we have some of the strategy about the how to reduce your disaster loss. The first is mitigation, and then the preparedness, and then response and recovery. We have 2-4. So, do you afraid of the typhoon? Afraid of typhoon? Last week, say what is Dujuan, right? Coming in, then my office was flooded. Flooded. I take one day to clean, sweep all the water out. So because I do not prepare, I do not have any activity to prevent the disaster loss of the typhoon. I do not close the window, so the water directly come in. So I spend one day. So if you have a very complete activity about to prevent the loss from the disaster, then you don't have to worry about. So this is very important for your safety management. Okay. So response. So disaster response and disaster recovery. Okay, this is the standard procedure. I think this is also can be a good topic for your master thesis. The safety manager in the community. Okay. Then we have a school. School is also very important. So you see that the build is the best teaching material. You building. Okay. So that is enough element for education and a course. But the safer is most important. If do not safe, then everything become meaningless. I give an example. Okay, is it very dangerous in your school? In our school, in Jingwen University, is it very dangerous? Someone put the nails in the chair. It could happen, right? Okay. Then driving a car, but the student do not know it is very dangerous to behind the car, or there's an electric door. Yeah, many things can happen. Okay. So there's some principle about how to prevent the disaster risk and do a very good safety management. So many things. So it is also a good topic if you want to use this as your master thesis. So the how to manage this is inspection, the everyday inspection, and so regulated requirement for regulation for the inspection, and the inspection after the disaster. So you can design your checklist for season or monthly or weekly or daily. Okay, this analysis of some of the natural disaster prevention event. Okay, so we spent almost 1 hour so for a brief introduction about how to manage the environment and how to manage the safety in a community or in an organization. So now we also have an exercise that you divide into 2 groups, right? Okay, and you write down the map, right? I've already said. And also you can list or what is the unsafe event or unsafe behavior in your organization, school, or your plant, or your factory, or your building or community. Anything is okay. So thank you very much for your listening. So.